Hello there, and welcome to an overview of the track and ball manifold rostering and time and attendance system. What we will do is we will just give you a quick overview of the branch manager or supervisor functionality as well as the OSM functionality, and show which reports and views are available to the various users at the various stages. Right, so for this purpose of this exercise, we will log in as the supervisor of Pietermaritzburg, B&B Street. Okay, please remember this is for tutorial purposes and training purposes only. Alright, you'll come to a screen that looks like this, and basically all of your information will be displayed down in this section here, and I think all the headings are pretty self-explanatory. Alright, to generate a new day, you'll basically click on that button. To view a summary of everything that is in your system by month, you'll get to it by clicking that one. To get a calendar view, you basically click on that button there. It will give you the same information in a calendar, and you will view and record your actual attendance here. Your various reports are available here, and when you want to submit a roster for approval, you will do it from here. Alright, so just a little bit more. You can see from the drop down list that we have rostered prior to this, obviously from the 1st to the 10th of August. So let's go and have a look at the summary view to start with. Now please remember, we've only rostered 10 days and there's only demonstration information in there. Alright, so from a summary perspective, sorry, my internet is a little bit slow this morning. Alright, you basically have the employee's name and the amount of hours and everything that have been rostered, running left to right with the total hours applicable to that employee on the right hand side. If we read the table in a downward fashion, the total number of hours rostered from a normal hours perspective is that, from a Sunday hours is that, and so the totals will continue along here with a combination total of that many hours being rostered. So very easy to assess the total status of any branch or any outlet at any point in time. Alright, let's have a look at the same information, but what we have is we're in a calendar view, which is sort of like a desktop calendar type view, which utilizes color to differentiate between the different statuses. Now we obviously have different statuses are when a default day has been rostered, when a day has been confirmed that it's been rostered, so in other words the hours have been changed and confirmed as rostered. You've then got actuals and you've got temp transfers. You've got a number of different statuses, and for each particular day, depending on the status, the color of that record will change. Alright, so basically these hours have been edited by the outlet supervisor. These ones still need to be attended to, and this one here, a temp transfer, has already been done for this particular employee on that day. Alright, this calendar view holds all records, so in other words we can go back in history and collect whatever we want. All we do is filter from the criteria that we have along the top. We are also able to view, currently it's set to the default is to view 1 week at a time for ease of what we see on the screen, but basically we can view an entire month by simply clicking and selecting 1 month, and basically all of the information for that particular time frame will appear on the screen. Alright, from your calendar you also have the ability to, you'll see if you hover over the date, to do your temp transfers. Alright, you can also edit an employee's hours by simply clicking the record, and it will open the hours for them to be able to be edited as required. Alright, so the calendar view has full functionality in the same manner as which the default list view has. Alright, so as you can see, from a navigation perspective, an edit perspective, viewing perspective, summary perspective, and that kind of thing, it is very simple to see exactly what is happening in a branch, in your branch, at any particular time. Alright, once you have submitted a roster for approval, once it comes back from approval, it will basically appear here. When we click on actual, your hours ready for approvals will sit here. Once you have selected the day and you approve the hours, they will then be moved back to the OSM. Alright, to get back to your rostering. Alright, and there's obviously a number of reports which are available. You have your monthly roster, which is very similar to your calendar view. You have your total employee attendance, where you will select a particular employee and it will give you the complete detailed breakdown. You will have a branch summary for your outlet. Okay, rostered versus actual. When we have hours that have been submitted as actuals, it will give you a representation of the difference between the two, and also submission tracking. So basically the senior management can see which branches have submitted and which ones, the status of each particular month that the system is managing at that point in time. Alright, and obviously whichever report we have on the screen, we can hit the print button and we can print that particular report irrespective of which report we have on the screen. Alright, let's just go back a couple of steps. Alright, so let's say for instance that from a supervisor perspective, I'm happy with my roster. I'm going to say, right, for August I would like to submit my roster for approval, and it will go forward to the OSM. Let's log out now and log in as the OSM for that particular outlet. Okay, and the OSM is able to see all of the outlets with their submissions, and they can go to PMB, and there is the roster which is available and waiting for approval. Obviously the OSM has the same functionality of being able to go and view each of these particular functions. We can see by the calendar the status of where everything is. Alright, so let's say that the OSM for this training purpose is happy. They will basically select the month that they are approving and they will approve, and at this point the information will then revert back to the outlet for them to now continue with their actuals. You will now see that the screen has now changed to a pale blue color because you are now dealing with actual hours, and at this point is where a supervisor will go in and edit the particular hours. So what has changed from rostered to actual? Let's go and have a look at this employee. Was rostered for 7.5 hours, and let's say they worked until that time. Alright, so that has now been changed. We can now submit the 1st of August as our actuals. Okay, and we now have the 2nd of August available. What we can do is we can have a look at the calendar view now, and we can now see that the 1st of August has now been submitted as actuals. The 2nd of August is the next one that is due to be submitted, and so the calendar will constantly update as the progress of each day takes place through the month. Alright, obviously once we have filtered out to a single day, we're able to do temp transfers. So we will say, from management perspective, you will be authorized to transfer from specific outlets, and you will select your outlet, you will select who you are doing your temp transfer for, you will edit their dates, etc., and you will save. Okay, that employee already has hours logged, so we are unable to log hours for the same time. Okay, so we will move their time to say they are going to work those hours. And we can now see that that person has been temp transferred. Alright, so if we go back to our home screen, we can now see that on the 2nd of August, our temp transfer appears with, that's a scheduled time. If we go to our actual time, 18 to 18:30, okay, they have worked half an hour as a temp transfer. In essence, that in a nutshell is how the system fits together. As you work with it, you will find that there are little traps and things like that where things can't be captured at particular times, and certain people have certain authorizations. But in essence, everybody will have facility to all of the buttons that appear along the top, and it will be restricted according to the outlets that you are able to, that you have been authorized to access. We will submit further, more detailed training videos for each position as rollout continues.